Welcome to Property Care. Today we are going to discuss about general power of attorney. I have many customers coming to my office and they don't know what is the GPA and how do we execute it. And they asked to share some ideas. So many our NRI guests and they have properties in Bangalore. They want to execute GPA and come for registration, or they give a power to someone, brothers, sisters, who want to give the power to them, and they will do registration on behalf of the person. So there is a different way of understanding, for owners. So those who are particularly in abroad and they want to give a power to someone in Bangalore and do the registration, or buying a property, selling the property, renting, management. So many things they can do with the power of attorney. So what are all the steps to execute a power of attorney and how this can be leveraged in property transactions? So that is the main idea of today's video. So I'm going to discuss 10 steps. What are all 10 steps we need to execute to get a power of attorney for one person to another person, and an NRI, particularly for an NRI and OCIs. This is going to be helpful, and local people also can use it. This is the general power of attorney. There is another name called POA, power of attorney. So this also both are the same name only. So I am going to discuss 10 steps how to execute a GPA. What are all things has to be there in GPA, and this is mainly for all the categories of properties can be used. It can be used for agriculture, property purchase, selling, industrial properties, commercial properties, and residential properties. And the target audience are property investors, tenants, NRI, OCI, real estate enthusiasts who want to know what is the GPA all about and how we can use this in our property transactions. And there is some examples I am sharing. The actual GPA who has done, my customer done in US, and I'm sharing a sample to understand so that you will understand it better, and it will help you to execute GPA for your transaction also. So I'm sharing this information for, just for an idea and education purpose only. So whatever if you have any doubts or any, issues in understanding, please connect with us. We'll help, or your local lawyer who can help you on this perspective. So this is my experience. I have done it for a few customers. So I'm sharing that idea to you. So what are all the 10 steps? So I am taking a typical example scenario. An US NRI, he is a son, living in US, want to give a plot purchase, plot investment power, in Bengaluru. He is trying to buy a property, which is a plot. He is interested to buy in Bangalore, and he want to give the power to Indian father, that investment power. He want to give it to his father, and he's staying in Bangalore. So son in US and father in Bangalore. So that is the typical example where the GPA, will help. So that is the example I am taking. And with respect to this example only, I am taking the 10 steps. Of course, there are smaller differences. For example, if stays at Chennai, can we use these steps? Yes, it is possible. There is only one process, the adjudication. I'm talking the 10th point, that has to be done in Chennai. So the minor difference is there that I will tell you and when that comes. So the first one is, what is GPA? GPA is a legal document registered in sub-register office, and that grants from one person to another person, grantor, grantee. So there are two people involved, and this gives a permission to buy a property or sell a property or rent a property, managing a property on behalf of one or more persons. For example, some X property, it is on two sons. Both are in US, and their father want to sell here. So the absolute owners are two owners who are staying away. I have customer, one son is in UK, another guy is in Hong Kong. The both the sons are in abroad and father lives here. So they want to execute a transaction and on when giving power to for father. So once the power is given and there are few things we have to capture it and both the party signs and it will become a legal document to execute legal transaction at sub-register office. So here, according to this example, why is this needed? See, absolute owners are away. They are not here. An example, in this case, son is in US and want to invest in Bangalore. So he has some fund, on his hand. He want to invest for his daughter or for son in a plot investment. So that is the objective. And he want to avoid the traveling here to do the registration process at sub-register office. So it saves the travel cost and his time up and down, office leave, vacation. So it saves a lot of time. So instead of visiting here, he want to give a power to father so that father takes care of that particular task with the help of GPA. So that is the objective of GPA and why this is being executed. So the next step is the drafting the GPA. So when you draft a GPA, you don't try to do your own thing. You have to engage a lawyer who knows about the local laws. Here an example case is Bangalore. There are some people they want to execute from Chennai, some people from Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata. So we should engage a lawyer there and the sub-register office where you are going to register that knowledge also should be there because you do sometimes in your place that GPA may not apply in where you do the registration. So that also they should have certain knowledge and try to do that as per the where you do the registration. For example, you are buying a property in Bangalore, you don't register in Delhi. So you have to register here. So the local laws from Delhi and Bangalore might slightly vary. Some of them are okay, some of them are same, but you should have to be very careful whether it is meeting the main objective of the doing this exercise. You do something there and sometimes it may not acceptable here. So that is where you have to be careful. So you should know the local law or engage a lawyer who knows the local law and legal consultant and a sub-register office requirements. So ideally, where you buy the property, that is where you should draft this GPA. Suppose you may buy two cities also. Should know two cities sub-register office requirements and build the GPA. So that you don't see a surprise when you go there for registration. When they see it, they'll say, no, there is some correction required. This is not acceptable. For example, I have seen one case where a passport name and sale deed name both are different. So ideally, according to US consulate, as per the passport they are expecting. Here, as per the sale deed they are expecting. So there is some understanding like these things may change, may stop your proceedings. For example, you're buying a property or selling a property. Sometimes it will create an issue. Some places are okay. So that's why we have to know the local person where the property is there. That has to be verified there so that you don't see a surprise on the registration day. So what is the purpose of GPA? So why we are executing the GPA? That has to be captured. Define the scope, broad or specific. Broad meaning there are more than one properties, the father can buy it. So you can generalize the statement, any property purchased in Bangalore or Chennai. So I am authorizing my father to execute those transactions. Or another case is specific is something like already I have that in Bangalore. I am giving sale power to my father so and so properties. He'll give a complete specification, which is the society name, what is the flat number, what is the address. So the complete property specification will be written. Only to that property power is what son is giving to father. Although he may be having 4 flats in Bangalore, but he is trying to give power, sale power to only one flat sale. So that is what specific. So buy, rent, management, property management, like we do property management business in Bangalore for last 10 years. Somebody, authorizes, suppose you want to sign as a rent agreement, an absolute owner is in US. So he can give a power to father. He will sign on behalf of me for rental agreements or any other rental requirements, he can sign it. So that is kind of a property renting management sale deed. And there is a owner's, the gift deed also possible. A gifting, father property to son or any other blood relatives. Gift deed can be executed. Partition deed is suppose four brothers, ancestral property dividing across four. That is where the partition deed. Release deed, something like if it have a joint owner, one owner giving power to releasing his power to another owner. So husband and wife, and husband is releasing the power, which means the joint owners, husband is giving the releasing the power to wife. So after this release deed execution, instead of two owners, it will become one owner. So that is called a release deed. So for one or more properties and location also, we can do it. So, and here the payments, with respect, if you are selling a property, all the payment goes to absolute owner account number only. Whatever written in sale deed, only those owner payments will go. So there is nothing that if you have a GPA and father takes the money, so bank loan and all will not be issued for a GPA holder name. Bank DD will be issued only to the absolute owner name. So only absolute owner can credit that check and file a return for all the income received with respect to the property selling. Similarly, buying also. All the payments should come from, buyer to seller. From NRI buyer, he can transfer the amount from his account to seller. So that is how the transaction happens. This GPA holder is just like a proxy. So he will sign on behalf of, the investor or a seller who is in abroad or anywhere in India also, other cities, they can stay and execute this GPA. So this is the idea behind the scope and the purpose. We have to clearly articulate in the document and capture those property details and location also. And on top of these property details, has to capture the names as per the absolute sale deed, names, and stick their photos and addresses, India address, and their IDs, passport, Aadhaar, PAN number, property specification, validity period of GPA. So this is something like, son is telling father that I'm giving for 2 years validity of this GPA. So after 2 years, this GPA will get expired. So there is no more, father can use this document to sell any of the property. Some of the son, some of the person who gives, open-ended validity also. So it will be valid for a certain, 5 years, but generally not recommended beyond 5 years. So open also should not be done. Ideally, it has to be at least some specific end period so that the transaction will be more safer. And it is a revocable, irrevocable. So once he gives the granting the access, he can revoke the access also by executing another document. And what are all the powers he is giving, like this rent, sale, buy, and executing the legal documents. So registration and, sale agreement, signing it on behalf of loan, any sign requirement, and whatever property related transactions, he is authorized person, not only the sub-register requirement, sale agreement between the buyer and seller. So he is the, buyer here. So he don't need to expect the son sign for the document. Since the GPA is there, sale agreement also, father can sign on behalf of son in a sale agreement as a buyer. So that is the executing the legal document. And get the GPA reviewed by grantor and grantee. So both son and father has to be reviewed, and on top of that, a legal lawyer is what drafting it. And once these three people are fine with it and it complies as per the local sub-register office requirements and legal compliance, and then the son who is in US, he prints it and goes to the nearest notary, where US location, goes to the nearest notary and show his IDs and sign in front of the notary the GPA document, who is the person who is giving the power, which is here in this case, son. Son is signing the GPA document in front of notary, and there ends, and then the notary will sign and seal on the document and give it back to son. And after receiving the notary signed copy, the son sends the GPA by post to an Indian consulate nearby his living area, who wants to authorize the stay and in US. So once he completes the notary, sign, that document, he should send it to nearest Indian consulate, where, they verify the passport, they put in the system, their passport number, SSN number, they call social security number, they put in the system and see this person is, staying here. So they are just authorizing the person staying here, and whatever happens here, they are not, they don't know about those things. So they know that there is some property document. They are authorizing the stay. Yes, this person, so and so person staying here in US. Okay, so he confirms that stay here and verify by verifying the passport, all other, valid driving licenses. They verify their things and authorize it, this person staying here. So that, and they'll sign and seal it. That is the document he should get back, which is eighth step. Indian consulate verifies the identity and the stay and approves that he is staying here with the sign and seal. So once they do this, and they will post that to, to his address where he stay in US, from Indian consulate to, his address. See, this process slightly vary country to country. I'm not this, since I'm example, I'm talking with respect to the US, and this is the process. And this is what we followed for another customer here. We sold the property also. So this is the process with respect to the US. Since more customers coming with where in US, so I took that example as a US owner and a US investor. That's why easily can be understandable. So other countries, slight deviation. Some countries I have seen this person, son has to travel to nearest, Indian consulate and present in person, give this document, and they have to go in person and get a sign and seal in some countries. So it will vary. So you should talk to the local nearest, the stamping person or notary. They will guide you how to, what to the process, or go to the nearest Indian consulate website or country's website. You can see those details, what is the process to get the GPA signed, or nearest attorney general, you can talk to them so that they'll also help you. So now the son sending that signed document, which is, for a GPA, consulate signed document, father receives in India by post. So now father got the document, which is signed by US notary and the US Indian consulate sign. So with this document, now a father received the document. So then there is a process called adjudication. So father meets district registrar and completes the adjudication process, which means both are signing, father and the district registrar. Both are verifying the identity. Yes, this is the person receiving the power from his son in US, and district registrar verifies and approves it. Then only the local sub-register office all over in Bangalore. Here there is some jurisdiction called in Jainagar jurisdiction, some 4 or 5 sub-register office there. Under that, this gets valid. So he can go to 6-7 sub-register office, which is the nearest to the property, can go and show this document and do the registration. So this is the adjudication process, which, they do the register. They scan the document, allocate a new unique number to that GPA, and scan and upload into their system. Then, and district registrar signs it. Then it will become a legal document. So this is the 10 steps which has to be followed with respect to any NRI, particularly here in this case, US NRI want to give a power to father. So here, instead of father, he can go to mother also, he can give it. Or brother can give it. Or sister can give it. So there are blood relation, particularly in Bangalore. Other locations vary. In Bangalore, blood related power of attorney only accepted by the bank. Other people can be, is possible, but there is a huge amount of stamp duty. Some percentage is there. Suppose your purchase sale deed value is 50 lakhs. So there is some percentage, 6 to 7% of 50 lakhs has to be paid as a stamp duty to local government. So that is the approximate number I'm saying. This will very recently, there is some change also happened, guideline value change. So this is the, like a penalty. They don't encourage, blood related, other than blood related people, because of some fraud transactions, they want to go through the blood related people only. Other than that, they are not encouraging it. So to avoid such a transaction, they are putting some 6 to 7% on the government guideline value, or the property has to be paid to Department of Stamp Duty, Karnataka has to be paid. So this is the sample document which I executed for my customer. See, if you look at here, there is an Consulate General of India. That is the sign I was talking. There is a seal, Atlanta. In the US, there is a seal is there. And here is the notary, Georgia is the state. Under that, there is a county and there is a notary there. And his name also was there. So this person, the son meets this person and show the ID proofs and take the sign. And this is the sample document, sample notary sign. So these are the document, general power of attorney, which is drafted by the lawyer. So I have some customer names, so I don't want to show here. So this is for an understanding purpose, and the specification of property all written here, and the reference number also allocated. So that is the sign I was referring, which is the Indian Consulate, name also written. Okay, Consulate General of India sign and the date. Notary in US. So these two are in US. All the pages will be there. I just shown the sample one page and the last page. So this is all the pages, they put the sign and seal. And this is the adjudication process. I was talking on the 10th step on the previous slide, which is under a section. There is a Karnataka State Act 1957. As per this act is what the district registrar is doing adjudication process. So for that, there is a process and there is a unique number allocated to this GPA, this 681, and some reference number is there and dated, and district commissioner stamps and district registrar, Jayanagar, registration district, Bangalore, and their sign. See, this is the adjudication process. Once this is done, you can go to Jayanagar. Under Jayanagar, there are 6-7 sub-register offices there. So you can go any of the sub-register office and show this property document, and you can go ahead with the registration process. So this is the last page. I just put the first page and last page. This they will print on the back side. District registrar will print, give the seal and the name and print it on the back side so that it get adjudicated. So this is the notary sign, same like here, same person doing this, and the flat specification and the Consulate General of India, Atlanta, and the sign witnesses, So this is the document, GPA document. Once these things all are done, see this is the Consulate General sign. Raju, some Indian consulate person signing the document. So once this is done, it will be done a valid GPA. We can use it for any property transactions. There is some highlights with respect to Bangalore registration. So this was I was talking. So there is a only family members are allowed to give a GPA. If you are not a family member plus their wife is okay. Other than people like daughter-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, so those things are not allowed. If they are doing power to them, they should be liable to pay additional stamp duty as a penalty, and they have to pay that to Karnataka government as a stamp duty. So there is a GPA also can be executed. Suppose if owner lives in Delhi and property in Bangalore. So inside India also is possible. So they don't need to travel from one city to another city for every transactions. Mostly builder do. See, they do joint development projects. So they have a 50% share. So JD usually, some large number of projects, hundreds of registrations are there. So they don't need to travel from there to here. They give another person here who execute the document on behalf of person who sits in Delhi. So that also is possible. The next one is that absolute owner in local due to some health issues. For example, some disabled or any health issues not able to visit sub-register office. Some disease or health issues. So on such cases, sub-register office and or his assistant will visit home and take photo and sign. That also possible in Bangalore. Suppose owners are in Bangalore, they're not able to come to sub-register office because they'll take a photo and fingerprint. So that they cannot come and sit there. Something like a bedridden people, sometimes they can't travel and sit there. So for them, this facility also available and it can be used. And for that, we have to give some medical certificate, like why the person cannot travel here to sub-register, and they verify this document and they'll do a planned visit. Which day he is available, he will tell. On that day, we should have registration and he will come on that day to home and take the photo and sign or thumb impression. They'll take it and come back. So this is our vision, mission, what we do here, property management last 10 years I'm doing. And this is our vision, mission, mainly for remote owners and their property management. I am managing it. And we have real estate service also, buy, sell, rent, and I have customers, NRIs, whose GPA I executed and uh, sold their properties or invested in another property. We have a successful business model in South Bangalore. We are leveraging this business model to other locations in Bangalore. So we are working on software development. We will update you on this soon. So this is our service catalog. It is self-explanatory. You can just go through it and easily understand. So nothing very complex things to understand here. So this is a book I am writing, and this mainly for remote people, how to invest here. And we are capturing this GPA detail also in this book and release all comprehensive solution so that this will helpful for many people who wants to invest from remote location. So I hope that this video will give some value added input. And if you find this video helpful, please give thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell icon and share it with friends and family so that they also get benefit. So that GPA, there is some black box. Many people I have customers, they don't have completely no idea what is this all about. And they say that, I don't want GPA property to buy. Buyers will tell me. Actually, there is nothing like that. As long as the legally is accepted, what is the problem? So you go to the lawyer and verify it. This GPA document is okay. And lawyer says is fine. Then what is the problem? Actually, legally it is accepted. There is no issue in this as long as proper verification is done. There's nothing wrong in this. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.